China just put humanoid robots on the streets with police, including a full-size T-800 walking with SWAT, traffic robots directing cars in busy cities, and a full smart patrol system with drones and AI. At the same time, ultra-cheap humanoids are dropping to just $4,000. Advanced robots like KAI are reaching insane levels of precision. The US is scaling mass production of home robots, and Meta is quietly moving into humanoid AI. This is starting to move fast, so let's talk about it. On May 1st, people in Shenzhen started posting videos showing a humanoid robot patrolling the streets alongside SWAT officers. And this wasn't some tiny demo machine waving at tourists. This was the Engine AI T-800, a full-size humanoid standing about 1.73 meters tall and weighing 75 kilograms. That means it's roughly the size of an adult human. It walks beside armed officers, wearing police-style gear, and it immediately changes the whole feeling of the patrol. The reason this one stands out is not only that it looks impressive, but that it can actually move in a way that feels much more physical and aggressive than the usual service robots we've seen before. The T-800 can run, perform combat-style movements, and even do spinning kicks. So when people see this robot next to SWAT officers, the message is very different from a basic information robot in a shopping mall. It looks like China is testing how humanoids fit into high-visibility public security, not only as tools, but as part of the visual presence of law enforcement. And when you think about it, in policing, appearance alone can change how people react. A robot walking with regular patrol officers is interesting. A robot walking with SWAT officers sends a much stronger signal. It makes the technology feel more serious, more operational, and honestly, a little more intimidating. Now, to be clear, the public reports around this Shenzhen patrol describe the robot as joining officers on the street, not replacing them and not independently enforcing the law. Well, not yet at least. And Shenzhen wasn't the only city showing this future during the May Day holiday. In Guangzhou, police rolled out what looked like a complete smart patrol lineup between May 1st and May 5th. This included humanoid robots, drones, and self-balancing scooters, all working together as part of a coordinated public safety system. At a park on Ersha Island, a humanoid robot walked side by side with officers while wearing a police safety vest. This one had a very different role compared to the T-800. It wasn't there to look like a SWAT support machine. It was more of a public-facing robot, designed to attract attention, interact with citizens, and help officers spread anti-fraud messages. And it actually makes sense. The robot performed martial arts moves, talked to people, and used an interactive broadcast system to warn the public about scams. Officers described it as a kind of publicity officer, because people naturally stopped, gathered around, and listened. One officer, Li Exupeng from the UXU District Patrol and SWAT Unit, said that when the robot accompanies them on patrol, citizens tend to stay around longer and become more receptive to anti-fraud messages. That means the robot is not just a gadget, it becomes a tool for attention. And in public safety messaging, attention is half the battle. The same Guangzhou rollout also included self-balancing scooters for officers. These can reach up to 20 kilometers per hour and are useful in areas where normal motor vehicles are not allowed, like public parks. Then above all of this, drones were deployed for aerial patrol. They monitored crowd flow, watched traffic conditions in real time, and coordinated with officers on the ground. So instead of one isolated robot, Guangzhou was showing a layered system. Humanoids for public interaction, scooters for fast movement, and drones for overhead awareness. Then there's Hangzhou, which took a slightly different route. During the May Day holiday, local authorities deployed 15 humanoid robots at major intersections to help traffic police and guide pedestrians. These robots were seen raising their arms to direct vehicles, guiding people across crossings, and interacting with passers-by. And of course, they attracted a lot of attention. Hangzhou is also one of China's most important AI and technology cities. It's home to major companies in the sector, including DeepSeek. So when humanoids show up in traffic management there, it doesn't feel random. It feels like the physical side of China's AI ecosystem is starting to show up in everyday public life. Looking at Shenzhen, Guangzhou, and Hangzhou, it's clear China is putting humanoid robots out in public so people get used to them. That is how adoption starts. At the same time, hardware is getting cheaper, which changes everything. Unitree just introduced a humanoid system starting at around $4,290. That's a massive drop compared to what humanoids used to cost. And this isn't some stripped-down toy either. It has binocular vision, a 4-array microphone system, voice interaction, and real-time perception capabilities. The design is modular. Instead of forcing a full humanoid body, it can operate as a fixed base system or on a wheeled chassis. Each arm can have 5 or 7 degrees of freedom, with the total system going up to 31 degrees of freedom. The waist rotates plus or minus 150 degrees. The head can move over 100 degrees in yaw, and the gripper can achieve repeatability within 0.1 millimeters. That level of precision opens up real applications: assembly, training environments, warehouse tasks, even guided interactions. It runs on dual 8-core CPUs with a vision module capable of 10 TOPS of AI compute, which is enough for real-time perception. And because it supports interchangeable components and low-level interfaces, developers can customize it heavily. This is exactly how ecosystems start. Lower the price, open up the platform, and suddenly researchers, startups, and independent developers can build on top of it. Unitree already did this with their quadruped robots, and now they're applying the same strategy to humanoids. The expectation is that this could trigger a similar wave of innovation. At the higher end, things are getting even more advanced. A company called Kinetics AI introduced a humanoid named KAI, and this one is on a completely different level in terms of complexity. It has 115 degrees of freedom, including 72 just in the hands. Each hand alone has 36 degrees of freedom, allowing extremely precise manipulation. It's covered in synthetic tactile skin with 18,000 sensing points, capable of detecting forces as low as 0.1 newtons. That means it can adjust grip and interaction in real time, making it safer around humans and fragile objects. It can carry up to 20 kilograms, move at around 5 kilometers per hour, and operate for about 4 hours on a 1.7 kilowatt-hour semi-solid state battery, which is designed to reduce risks like thermal runaway. What's interesting is how it thinks. It uses something called a world model, which basically simulates outcomes before executing actions. So instead of reacting blindly, it predicts what might happen and evaluates different possibilities first. Training happens through a wearable system called KAI Halo. Humans perform everyday tasks while the system records movement, spatial data, and first-person video. That data then feeds directly into the robot's learning process. And they're targeting real environments: retail, concierge services, home assistants. It can sort items, assemble products, load dishwashers, fold clothes, even thread a needle. Mass production is planned for later in 2026, with pricing expected below $40,000. Meanwhile, in the US, the focus is shifting from development to scaling. A company called 1X has already started production of its humanoid robot Neo in California. The factory is about 58,000 square feet, employs over 200 workers, and aims to produce up to 10,000 robots per year, eventually scaling to 100,000 units by 2027. The demand is already there. Their first-year production sold out within 5 days. Neo is designed for home use, helping with mobility, light tasks, and daily interactions. It runs on NVIDIA's Jetson Thor platform, enabling real-time AI processing directly on the robot, which reduces latency and dependence on the cloud. They're also using simulation tools like NVIDIA Isaac to train the robots before deployment, which speeds up learning and improves safety. The pricing model is interesting too, around $20,000 upfront or a subscription starting at $499 per month. That tells you where this is going. Not just ownership, but service-based robotics. And while all of this is happening, big tech is quietly positioning itself behind the scenes. Meta just acquired a robotics startup called Assured Robot Intelligence, or ARI. This team focuses on building models that allow robots to understand, predict, and adapt to human behavior in complex environments. Their work feeds directly into Meta's broader push toward humanoid systems and potentially even artificial general intelligence. Because a lot of researchers now believe that true AGI won't come from training on internet data alone. It will require physical interaction with the real world, and robots are the bridge that makes that possible. So you've got hardware scaling, AI models improving, and companies investing heavily in combining the two. Now, when it comes to policing specifically, there's a deeper conversation happening, especially in the US. A lot of departments are facing serious staffing shortages. Over 70% report hiring has become more difficult compared to 5 years ago. Resignations have increased by 47%, retirements by 19%, and about 87% of agencies say they're not fully staffed. This creates a chain reaction. Response times increase, officers burn out, morale drops, and services get reduced. That's why humanoid robots are starting to look practical. They can handle simple tasks like reports, traffic control, translation, and public information, while human officers focus on serious calls, investigations, and people who actually need human judgment. And there are already examples. China has deployed humanoids for patrols and information services. Dubai has introduced robotic officers for tourist assistance and complaint filing, with plans to make 25% of their police force robotic by 2030. At the same time, private security robots are already common in malls and corporate campuses, handling perimeter patrols and monitoring. So the transition is already underway, just gradually. Still, there are real challenges. Humanoids can process data quickly, yet they lack emotional intelligence, cultural awareness, and judgment in complex situations. One mistake, especially one that goes viral, can damage public trust instantly. There are also legal questions. Who is responsible if a robot makes a mistake? The department, the manufacturer, or the operator? And then there's the ethical side. Issues like bias, transparency, and accountability become even more critical when machines are involved in public safety. Public perception plays a big role too. In some countries like Japan, robots are widely accepted in daily life. In many Western societies, there's more skepticism, especially if robots are seen as replacing jobs or exercising authority. That's why the current approach focuses on supportive roles first, visibility without enforcement. Gradual integration, pairing robots with human officers, collecting feedback, and building trust over time. Cybersecurity is another concern. These systems are connected, which means they can be targeted. A compromised robot in a policing environment creates serious risks. So strong encryption, monitoring, and human override systems become essential. And financially, this isn't cheap. Beyond the initial cost, there's maintenance, charging, updates, and infrastructure. But despite all of that, the direction is very clear. Humanoid robots are moving out of controlled environments and into real-world systems. And it's happening faster now because three things are aligning at the same time. Hardware is getting cheaper, AI is getting more capable, and real-world demand is growing. That combination changes timelines. Also, if you want more content around science, space, and advanced tech, we've launched a separate channel for that. Links in the description, go check it out. Anyway, that's where things stand right now. If you want to see where this goes next, stay close, because this space is moving faster every month. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.